to date, we're in part 6. We have a module for working with the songs. We have a DB module working with the artist table. Now I created a third one when we're going to work with both tables. So from table artist dot art name, table song dot song name, table song dot song genre. From the table song, we're going to join artist together with these two guys. There's an artist ID in each of those. Not very visual. So the artist ID will be one artist ID here. There will be multiple IDs here. So what will happen when we pull the artist record with this ID, it's going to talk to the table song and say, okay, there's one. And then we're going to pull it again. It's going to say, oh, there's a second one. There's a third one. Once we're done, then we move on to the next song. So we're selecting these guys from the table song and we're joining it on the art ID. This is actually coming from the artist table, which is why we have these guys here to be specific as to which table we're pulling things from. So that's our SQL. I know that's a little bit different and not as easy as Access, but this is what's behind Access when you do a query that joins two tables and allows us to fetch all the records over here that connect with this individual record. Okay, let's keep moving. Where's my program? There it is. So to do that, well, look at here. It's the same thing we've done before. We have connect with our SQLite. We make a cursor. We execute our, it's the same thing we've done before. We return our records. Well, let's take a look at the application end, and then we'll see how this works. So display all songs and artists is going to be 5. We also have to include the DB app so we can access all the functions that are in there. And we go down to number 5. There's 2, there's 3, there's 4. There we are. So I created a function called display all songs artists. Could have been all artists songs, but there's more songs than artists. So we go down to find that guy. In Visual Studio Code, if you hold down your control key, notice how it becomes a little hand with a finger. You can click right down there. So the first thing we do is we fetch everything from the database. So now we have all these records as a tuple. And I'm going to print that out so we can see how it returns. So I'm going to print songs, artists. It's a list of tuples. Sorry, I said a tuple. It's a list of tuples, which is what we've been returning before. List of tuples. Then we're going to use our tabulate, which we've used before. These headers match the information we're bringing in. Remember, we're only bringing in 1, 2, 3. We're being specific as to what we want to select. We're not selecting everything. We're just selecting these 3 fields from those 2 tables. This tells us how to bring the records in by this connection. And then we're using, of course, PSQL format, which just means it's going to look pretty. All right, let's run this guy. Hopefully I have some stuff in my database. So we display all the songs. There. So the Beatles had 2 songs. So it looked at this artist ID, it found the first record. It looked at this artist ID, it found the second record. And it said, oh, there's no more. Then it went to this one, and Joan Osborne has a couple of them. Joan Osborne did not do the change. Fleetwood Mac did. So I guess I'll have to fix that. At this point, the only thing we can do is delete an artist and a song and then put them back in. Editing a database records with a client interface is more complex than we want to get into. So now here is what we're actually returning. There's the list bracket. Each of the records is a tuple, which is indicated by the little parentheses. And then the next tuple, then the next tuple, and the next tuple, and the next tuple. This little format, the table tabulate guy, just makes it really easy to make everything look nice in a client interface environment.